Are we supposed to be ignoring the fact that Cliff allegedly is mentally, verbally, and emotionally, probably physically abusing Latrice? Are we supposed to just let that ride and act like it's just a TV show? Man, let's joke right quick.
Come on, Blaze.
It's the beef for me.
Wah 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 for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Drop it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Do it for your guy, for your B-O-Y. Come on, baby, we are.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Voodoo back with a quick little jose, and we about to jose Latrice and Cliff from Belle Collective. Now, this is a show on OWN. It's another Carlos King production. I've been watching since season 1. I think I might have started reviewing in season 1, but either way, certain shows I just be wanting to enjoy, and Belle Collective is one of those shows, right? So it's basically a group of women from Mississippi. There are a bunch of women, or a group of women, down there in Jackson, Mississippi, which I love that he's shining a light on Jackson, Mississippi. I'm from New Orleans. Jackson, Mississippi, probably like 5 or 6 hours away. So I know a lot about Jackson. I know a lot of people who went to Jackson State University, which is a HBCU. I know a lot about Jackson, you know what I'm saying? And it's up and coming. It used to be real country, but now we seeing a really, up-to-date side of Jackson, Mississippi. And it's a bunch of black women down there who are bosses, who doing their thing. Everybody is here for it. I mean, if y'all haven't watched this show or checked it out, check it out, because this is really a good show, and it's something really nice for black women, especially down there in the country, to look at and see what you can become. Because typically when your surroundings are nothing but, country living and women in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant and all of that, you typically feel like that's your life. But with this show, it shows that, hey, no, it's actually so much more to life than this, and I'm here for it. But let's get into this doggone review of Latrice and Cliff. So now Latrice is a younger woman. She's married to Cliff. Cliff is an older man, and she has this thing where she calls him daddy. Now, I ain't got really much to say about that. Whatever your dynamic in your relationship is whatever your dynamic is. However, they literally take on the roles of daddy and daughter. Like, she literally treats him like her father, and he literally treats her like his daughter. So Latrice and Cliff, obvious with the age difference, they have their dynamic going on that works for them. I ain't gonna really comment too much on it, but when it becomes to be a nuisance or an issue where us as the public can consume the way that you're treating your wife, that's where I have a problem with it, right? So in this episode, or in this season, Mississippi is going through a water crisis, or at least Jackson. And I guess where Latrice is staying, she's not kind of going through the water crisis. And so she has her best friend, Josh, moving in with them or whatever. He's her best friend, and also he works for her hair business. She owns a hairline, and I'm loving that. First of all, I love the fact that black women are taking over an industry that we monopolizes. We buy the most hair. I think we should be selling the hair, period. But neither here nor there. She got Josh moving in with her and her husband or whatever, and Cliff ain't too excited about it. In Cliff's defense, he's not excited about it because Josh is too vocal. Josh basically gets in the middle of their marriage, and he speaks on shit he shouldn't really be speaking on. I agree with that. Josh, I get that's your home girl. I get that's your friend. You want the best for your friend. And I feel like conversations that you have with her ain't no problem. But you need to have those with her and not with him and her, because you are not in their marriage. Whatever dynamic she has going on in her marriage is one that she likes. I know she comes back and she complains about it to you. I've been that friend. But ultimately, your grief and your gripe should be coming up with her and not them two as a whole. Because at the end of the day, this is that man's house. He's absolutely right in feeling like, wait, hold on, bro. You overstepping. This is my house. But Josh is very vocal. Josh is basically telling him that he don't treat her right. He be talking to her dirty. He don't appreciate how he treat her. You got this girl running around here cooking you food and bringing you dinner. And why can't you come up and cook no food? It's not like she ain't a boss and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Listen, a little backstory. Cliff has a lot of money. Her husband, Latrice's husband, makes a lot of money, and he kind of like helped her with her business that is now booming. So you kind of got to give way to the fact that their dynamic started off that way, and that's kind of where he wants to keep it. Not to mention they are in Jackson, Mississippi, the most country. Y'all think Love and Marriage Huntsville over there in Alabama's country. We talking Mississippi, deep South, Bible Belt. You know what I mean? Well, the values are much different. You know what I mean? Than people up in the city areas. Nevertheless, so he's over there telling this girl that she need to basically leave him. You know what I'm saying? And he's telling Latrice to her face, and Latrice is here for it. But the problem with Latrice is Latrice wants to come back and tell Josh everything that her husband is saying, even though they are all negative. And then Josh is giving his opinion. But then you want to also tell him, but I'm just venting. No, that's not how that goes. I went through the same thing with my friend in her marriage. She wanted to tell me all the horrible things that her husband was doing to her. I'm like, girl, let's jump him. You know what I'm saying? I'm a solution-based type of, female or whatever. But then when you back with your man, you want to look at me sideways and tell me, oh, you don't need to be doing this. You don't need to be doing that. Girl, don't tell me nothing about that. Don't tell me about what he's saying. Don't tell me about what he's doing. Don't tell me about how he's doing you dirty, because as a friend, naturally, your instinct is to want to help your friend and want to be like, no, I'm not going to sit by and watch him treat you this way. But Latrice is between a rock and a hard place. I'm sorry, because she's over there with them Southern values. Well, that's my husband, and I have to ride inside with my husband. And ultimately, there's nothing wrong with that. But he's watching you be abused by your husband, especially now that he done moved in a doggone house and he's seeing it. Now, Latrice's whole thing is, I grew up like that. Basically, she watched her mother be abused by her father. So it's kind of like all she knows. And let me say this. This is a very important situation. Ladies, we have to understand that we are the first example to our children, right? In Latrice's situation, she feels like, if her husband talks to her crazy or dogs her or whatever, it's cool because that's all she knows from her mother and father. That is not the case. This man is a doggone stalker. Her friends is upset because everywhere she go, he popping up. He basically stalks her. He ain't got nothing else to do. They at the doggone club having a drink, and she forgot to tell him, I guess. So he done popped up on her and sitting in the section next to them, acting like he, just there and not listening and eavesdropping on her. It's giving very toxic. It's given he's an old, toxic, masculine man. Ain't nothing wrong with masculinity. Let me retract that part. But he's an old, toxic Southern man, and he's using that to his advantage to doggone do her dirty. I mean, look at the way he was talking to her. And if y'all haven't watched the show, please go back and watch the show. He pulled this girl outside of the doggone club to tell her that he didn't tell her that she was filming, and he felt like she was lying to her and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. He talking to her all kind of crazy. I mean, at one point, he literally grabbed her and she was like, don't grab me. But he talking to her crazy. He throwing off the microphones. He don't want to talk about it or whatever the case may be in front of the cameras. But that's because you over there disrespecting this girl. I mean, he called her a bitch and everything. And I'm sitting here going, oh, no, that's not what we doing. We will definitely not do that. First of all, if that's how your dynamic is behind closed doors, keep that behind closed doors. You're not about to get on no cameras in front of nobody and talk to me crazy like that. That's not how that works. But nevertheless, she goes to her friend and tells her friend, I want to talk to you because, I want to tell you what daddy is saying. But as my friend, I feel like you should just listen because I'm venting to you. No. There's a thing called abuse that's not even supposed to be abuse, because as friends, we are supposed to be there for our friends. But ultimately, you cannot come to me after you told me all these horrible things and expect for me to just be like, oh, okay, well, that's your husband. Let me just not deal with it. No, I'm with Josh. Josh says, listen, at this point in time, that's your dynamic with your husband. That's what you want to do. I think y'all should just keep it there and keep me out of it. I literally went through the same thing with my friend. Keep me out of your mess, because you want me to be a listening ear like I'm a therapist. I'm not a therapist. Do I think Josh oversteps his bounds? Absolutely. But the problem that I'm having is we watching this man literally handle doggone Latrice like it's nothing. And I don't like that. And I don't like that we just filming this and moving past it. I don't like it. Even when producers asked Latrice, hey, y'all was just beefing and battling, what's going on? She just want to move past it. No. I do not appreciate Cliff being able to treat her the way he's treating her and do her the way he's doing her. I don't appreciate the way he talked to her. And again, it's not my marriage. This hers. Ultimately, she gonna stick by her man as she should if that's what she feels is the most important right now. But they are not equally yoked. He does not look at her like they are the same. He treats her like she's beneath him. And I don't like this. I don't know, y'all. Y'all go look at this episode and y'all tell me what y'all think. Latrice, it's not a good look for you, baby. You say you a boss. You say you this, you that. You got all this energy for the girls, but you don't have none for your husband when he over there manhandling you, pulling you up out the club. I didn't like that. And Carlos King, you got to do something about this as well. We not about to brush over this because we not doing this in 2023. 2023, we not letting these men abuse us on TV and think that it's cool and it's okay, because it's not. It's just not, period. So y'all tell me what y'all think. Go watch this episode if y'all think I'm tripping. I know I'm not tripping, but y'all let me know if I'm tripping. Watch this episode of Belle Collective. I want to say it's the first 2 episodes that just came out, 1 and 2. Go watch this episode and y'all tell me what y'all think about Daddy, aka Cliff, sitting around talking to his woman, to his wife, like as if she's a child. Like, no, we not doing that.
Mr. Carroll, how you give the voodoo dog time to talk? I don't get no fucking time to talk.
Who the voodoo doll is?
The nigga you just had up here.